Hi guys, my name is Russell and I make guide and race videos for iRacing on YouTube. If that sounds like it might be up your street, please do consider hitting subscribe and maybe that little bell so you can catch my latest uploads and my live streams. We are back for another week of racing in VRS GT Sprint Season 4 2020. We're well over halfway through the season now and we're landing back in the UK for Donington Park. A real classic location for British motorsports, and like all the other UK tracks in iRacing, it's fast, it's sweeping, it's really quite dangerous, um, but it is a lot of fun. There's some really cool overtaking opportunities here, and it really is a test of your mettle. So we'll do the usual thing for this guide. We will do the in-car lap, and then we'll go out to a rear chase view so you can watch it back, see the position of the car. And then after that, I'll do a little walkthrough of every corner, breaking down the braking points, the turn in, the apex and the exit, and gear selections and things like that. Just anything I can kind of think of to help you along with racing here this week, especially if you're not particularly familiar with the track. Before we do that though, now's probably a good time to say this coming Saturday night, so the 7th of November, is the inaugural Finding Speed GT3 League race. We're kicking things off at Brands Hatch. There's going to be 5 races over the next couple of months. And we'll be at Donington because it's a tour of UK tracks. We're going to be at Donington for the 3rd race, I believe. So check that out. It's going to be on Apex Racing TV. It's going to be on my YouTube as well. Broadcast live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 40 drivers raring to go. Come and give it a watch. I hope you enjoy it. So that's enough of that. Let's get going. And good luck for racing this week. Let us know how you get on in the comments. It's always good to hear how your racing's going, how your lap times are improving. So keep me posted. Cheers, guys. All right, guys, here we go with 1 minute 26.270 at Donington Park. As we cross the line, we're going to want to move right over to the left, and we're looking down towards this blue cone and the exit of the pit. We want to ride it quite far over, and as we approach the blue line, the pit exit line, that's when we're going to hit the brakes, and we're going to brake straight ahead now to the end of the pit lane. And we want to be in third gear by then. We're going to go a little bit beyond the end of the pit lane, and then we're going to start our turn in. So we've just started our turn in here, and it's quite a late apex on this corner. It tightens, and the inside curb has a nasty lip that is sure to catch you out given half the chance. So don't get your right hand wheels over here, because when they come back, you're going to bounce and jump all over the place. Chances are you're going to spin. So we're now really nice and tight to the apex. We've already started accelerating. We're doing so reasonably gently. And then as soon as we know that we've got enough track to get us, out on exit without overshooting, because it is quite easy to overshoot here, then we're full on the accelerator. And we're going to keep this turning angle because we want to keep close to the right here. We want to catch this curb, stay really close to the right again, catch this curb. This downhill section on cold tyres is absolutely fatal. You can't do it flat out down here, especially this left-hander coming up in a minute. So once your tyres are warm, you can flat out down here, but you've still got to watch the balance of the car because it can throw you. So at this stage, we're really, really tight over to the right. And now we're just going to start our turn in with a view to riding the inside curb from the corner here. There we go. And we want to keep the car really tight over to the left. And we're going to start our braking just after the board. And we're going to come down just to fourth. We're not braking super heavily here. Probably about 40%. We're in fourth. And then as soon as we start to ride the curb here, we're going to fade out of the brake. And we're going to start our turn in. And we want to try and catch the second half of the inside curb of this corner. We're going to try and do this as quick as we can. We want to maintain as much speed as possible. And we're back on the accelerator. We were quite slow in. There's quite a lot of extra curbing on the outside here. You can ride a lot of that. As long as you're back on by the time the blue curb ends, you are good to go. And then we're turning in gently, catching the inside of the curb. We want the car to be over the right here anyway, so this is great. Again, on cold tyres, you can't take this next left at full pelt with your foot down. But once the tyres are warmed up nicely, you absolutely can. And what we want to do with this corner is keep our foot to the floor and exit with the car onto the left next to the arrow marker that we can see on the left-hand side of the track after the corner. So just at the end of the curb, we're turning in, and we want to be nice and straight by the time we hit the brakes, and we are about to hit the brakes just at the end of the curbing is when we want to brake. So we're keeping the car, trying to get balance in the car to make it straight, and we want to pop down to third. We're going to brake in a straight line, basically in line with the left-hand side of the track here. Maybe going slightly towards the middle of the track. And then once we've got the speed down, once we're in third gear and we're really fading out of the brakes, we're going to start turning right. Again, we're desperate to carry as much speed through here as we can. It's another corner that's quite deceptive. It's quite tight on exit. So we need to nudge the car around. If we steer too hard on entry here, we're going to lose the back end. The back wheels are going to come out. We're going to go sideways. We don't want that. So we have to just nudge the car quite gently here. And we're back on the accelerator really early, but I did back out a bit there. I was a little bit over keen. We don't have a lot of exits to play with here. Right, so now we're looking down the track and we're looking past the white line, and we need to brake and drop down to third, about kind of a third, maybe halfway along this curb. Now you notice we've got like donut tire marks here. Now I tend to brake just as we're crossing those. It's actually just a bit after. It's when the car's already on them. It's a really, really hard braking zone to master. It's just one of those ones where you're just going to need to practice. And it's a blind turn into quite a tight right-hander here. So we're coming down to third. We've braked at about 50% for a second or so. And then we're turning in really quite early here as we bleed right out of the brakes. So we're still got about 5% on the brake at the moment. We're looking just to cut just the top corner of this curb off. Too much more, obviously you're going to get an off track. Much more than that, you're going to get a slowdown. But what we want to do is try and get the car facing as far to the right as we can as soon as we can, so that we can maintain this throttle that we picked up just before the curb. And with regard to the steering angle, we need to keep it kind of as low as possible to stop the back wheels from spinning, to stop us from losing traction. Takes a bit of practice that, but you can just wheel the car around the corner there. So we're over to the right, we're looking at these boards, and there's a hump in the track here. Now after the hump, after the track drops away, just after the board that's right in front of us now, we're going to brake really heavily, and we're going to come down to third. We're going to brake in a straight line, and we're going to be watching the inside left curb approach us. We've got an incredibly tight chicane to negotiate here, but if you get the angle right on entry, you can carry a really surprising amount of speed through here. So we're braking just as the track drops away. We're bringing the car down to third. We're pretty much full threshold braking. Now, just before this board on the right to remind us that we're going through a chicane, that's when we're going to start our turn in. And we just want to try and straight line it between these curbs as best we can. So as I've really dipped out the brakes, that's when I've started steering. If you can time your steering angle to your sort of trail braking, you know, coming out of the brakes, you're going to get a really good amount of rotation in the car, and that's going to be your key here. So you can cut off a surprising amount of this. This is not an off track. It's not a slowdown. This is how we do it quickly. And we're back on the gas again, but I'm not going up to 100% throttle, because if we get an awkward bounce off a curb here, which can happen, and the car's always going to move around a bit, and if we're on full throttle when that happens, then that's when you're going to spin. That's when you're going to run out of exit. You need to keep that turning angle on to be able to make the exit curb. Now, hairpin coming up, slowest corner on the track. We are looking, and this is awkward, we're looking for the start of these skid marks just at the brow, just after the brow of the hump in the road there. That's when we need to start braking. We're braking downhill, so we have to brake pretty aggressively. We're going to come all the way down to first gear. And as soon as we're in first and we're starting to really pull out of the brake, again, that's when we start our turn in, and that's how we're going to get really, really good rotation in the car while maintaining some balance in it. So here we come. We're hard. We're meeting this inside curb. We're maintaining some good steering angle, and we're getting back on the brakes pretty steadily here. And then as soon as we want to go through full throttle, we want to wait until we're below 90 degrees on the steering angle. Use all of the exit here so that we can just keep the speed up. And then we're going to point the car over to the right for another first gear tight turn onto the start finish track. Now, we want the right hand wheels on this curb, and as the entire car gets on these curbs, that's when we're going to brake, just as these skid marks start here. And we're actually going to follow the line of these skid marks round to the left as we brake. And we're going to get all the way down to first, and we want to be in first just as we're coming to the start of the inside curb. We want a really, really aggressive steering angle at this point. And then as we mount this curb and come round, we can really, really start to get the gas on. And again, you'll notice that I don't go to 100% throttle until the steering wheel has come back to under 90 degrees rotation. So we're about 90% there, but then the wheels come back to less than 90 and we're up to 100% throttle so that we can, keep good traction in the car, maximize our acceleration down to the line, ready for another lap here at Donington Park. What a cool track. Love it here. Hope you enjoy it too. Let us know how you get on. As always, in the comments below. Come and join the Discord. You will find my setup and my ghost cars for every week of VRS GT Sprint. And since you've stayed to the end, come and join the Discord. You can have all of that stuff for every week this season. And best of luck. Good luck racing here, guys. Thanks for watching. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you on the track.